time to check in with business editor Ticky Fullerton. Ticky, as we count down to Christmas, we've seen some new consumer confidence figures today. Well, it hasn't been great lately. What have they shown today?
Well, I'm afraid more of the same, Tom, really. After those business confidence numbers earlier in the week, the Westpac-Melbourne Institute index of consumer sentiment fell 1.9%. So we actually had a better reading last month, which was taking us away from a four-year low in October. We're heading now back down towards those four-year low number again. And this really reflects the ongoing story of lack of consumer spending, even as we're heading into the Christmas season and everything else. We've got MyEFO, of course, the mid-year economic fiscal outlook for the government, after on Monday, and we're not expecting a huge stimulus, I don't think. So it'll be more of the same, I suspect, going forward.
Meanwhile, the horrible news out of New Zealand, it could actually have an impact on Monday's MyEFO.
Oh, well, look, I mean, the news out of New Zealand around the volcano, obviously, and all the tragedy there is one thing. The government, though, today actually released its half-year budget, and it's in stark contrast, I think, to what we'll be seeing on Monday here in Australia, and that is that it was quite a big spend, $12 billion infrastructure spending, and also a reasonable amount on schools and hospitals and that sort of thing. So they're looking at a very different, more Keynesian style response to the slowing down of growth in New Zealand. They've also got a Reserve Bank that at least is open to the idea of going through negative rates. So quite a contrast to approaches across the ditch.
Better get your take as well, Ticky, on the UK election. I know you keep a very close eye on this. Polls tightening. I don't really know what to make of this because such a huge lead from the Conservatives. Nobody seems to think that Jeremy Corbyn's electable, but now there's a bit of apprehension. What are your thoughts there?
Well, look, as one would expect with Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson, there are banana skins right up to the very end on both sides, aren't there? I do think that Love Actually little take that Boris Johnson has done with his whiteboard in Britain, Love Actually, along with Four Weddings and a Funeral, is the sort of the great Christmas movie, and he's been very clever, I think, with that. Now, I know that sounds trite, but it's that sort of thing, and the message, this simple message of get Brexit done, which actually may provide. I would head for a more definitive Tory victory, I think, this week. But the irony, of course, is that Hugh Grant is out there doing his level best to make sure Boris Johnson doesn't get in and Brexit doesn't happen.
Indeed. What a late entry into the whole election, Ticky. We'll get your take when it's all run and won as well.